The story starts with the scene in which barbarians seem raged and trying to kill a guy. The guy is holding an axe in his hands. He is starting to kill barbarians and says that the born fighters are raised as warriors and those who die in battle for honor. He seems raged, shouts at his wife, and calls her to prepare the spell. He says that he will be there some time. They are standing on the verge of a hill. She seems frightened, holding her son. The man kills many people and says that the bravest warrior of them was his father who fought until his last breath. When his tribe betrayed him, he stood to protect his family and honor. Suddenly, two barbarians attack the man. His son shouts for his father. He trembles and bends and then starts to fight again with them. The wife of the man is still doing magic while holding her son. At last a strong beam of light appears, and she says that anywhere in the land of stars will be better than there. She advises to take care of himself. He says that he is too scared. His father tells that he should be strong, then nothing can be taken away from him. He should be strong so no one can hurt him. He replies that he will act upon his advice. His father has neither regret nor fear in his eyes as he faced death, but only the pride of barbarians. Someone says that their exams are over. Later he laughs and says that they all should see what they have. He says that the loser likes him looking so rich. He says what is he waiting for and orders him to give them his watch and bag. He seems confused. He is the senior Jinti Kim at Janil High School. He requests them to not do these things which can get serious. The boy is born with a silver spoon in his mouth. They seem serious. He says that his friend is on his way. The man seems raged and grabs his head and says that his friend is Hulk or maybe some monster. He is ready to beat him, but suddenly someone breaks the wall. By seeing this, they all seem amazed. He is the senior Choldu Kang at the same high school. He says that the Lolivs have no manners. He asks about him. He says that he broke the wall with his fist. He grabs him from his collar and says that he is the friend of Jinti and smashes them all. Then they both walk through the street. Jinti says that he is really something smashing through the wall with his bare fist. He asks him if he is human. He seems frightened and says that what is he saying, of course he is human. It's been 10 years since he came to this planet Earth. Jinti says that sometimes he seems so different. He thinks that he cannot fool because he is his lifelong friend. It means he has still given off barbarian vibes. He orders him to go home. Chioldu is eating with his grandpa. He asks why he is eating so little. He hopes he is not sick. He seems confused and says that he has lost his appetite lately. He asks his grandpa why he is eating little. Grandpa replies that he is too old. He cannot even digest what he is eating. It makes him full by watching him eat. He says that he always says this. Grandpa offers him more food to eat. He thinks that he is the person he is most grateful for. He took him in when he had nothing, and raised him without expecting anything in return. His grandpa tells him that the director park comes earlier. He asks him to become a boxer. He replies that he is not going to be an athlete. Grandpa asks him if there is anything wrong with him. He says that he is getting awards in every sport. Why is he letting that go to waste? Chioldu thinks that humans and barbarians are different species. He does not want to disappoint his grandpa, but barbarians can only become one thing, that is a warrior. He does not want to play sports which are made for humans. He wants a bloody fight against a rival who matches his strength. But the problem is the earth is too darn peaceful. His grandpa is watching the news and suddenly says that the government has started the investigation into the unidentified incident that took place in Qingju. Chioldu asks about the incident. His grandpa replies that there was an accident in Qingju and apparently more than 120 people died. They are talking about monsters or something like that. The newly released footage reveals that there is an unwanted creature which is spotted in the area. Warranty caution. His grandpa says that he is making him nervous. Chioldu says that he will be right back. He is going toward Qingju with his friend. Jinti Kim says that he is driving long distance first time since his father bought him this car. He says that he is telling him last time, get a license. He thanks to him and says that he is a real lifesaver. Chioldu thinks that the monster he saw on the news was same like he saw when he was a kid. Maybe it is related to the planet where he used to live in. Suddenly, he stops the car. He asks that what is going on and why are there so many people. After seeing the crowd, Cheoldu replies that there is something. Jinti says that there are soldiers here. They are not kidding about the disaster. Cheoldu says that this must be the disaster area. Someone is seeing Cheoldu and says that what a build for a young man. He asks for his work. He says that to join his group if he is interested. After seeing the card, he says that this is for warriors. He replies that he is funnier than he seems. He says that they are colonizing a planet, so they are more workers than warriors. He seems happy and says that to join their group he will not regret about it. He refused and says that he is a warrior. It is a disgrace for a warrior to be a worker. The another man feels embarrassed and says that he is a little rookie spouting nonsense about warriors. Cheoldu also seems raged and says that he is belittling the honor of warrior. Suddenly a light is raises from the tunnel. They all seem amazed. Jinti asks Cheoldu about the happening in the tunnel. The voice comes from machine that commencing the doomsday exam. Doomsday is approaching Earth. The planet of refuge Nova extends a hand of salvation to the inhabitants of Earth. Flee to the Nova through the portal. They both go to the Nova through the portal. Jinti shouted, "Where the heck they are?" He says that this is all his fault. He makes him come here with him. He asks about his precious car. Suddenly, the exam day comes. The goal is to obtain 1 goblin coin. Cheoldu tells Jinti to look over there. The monsters are standing in front of them. Jinti seems scared and says that they do not expect them to kill. Cheoldu says that none of this makes any sense. He is running toward the monsters. He is waiting for this moment forever. He is trying to kill all of them. He seems happy and punches many monsters and says that this is his chance. The feeling of blood boiling throughout his body is insanely exciting. His barbarian instincts are telling him to bring on the end times. This is his chance. Suddenly the coin is suspended in the air. Goblin coin is Nova basic currency. He says that there are the goblin coins mentioned in the status window earlier. He picks the coin. He takes down 3 monsters in the blink of an eye. End times exam passes. They have earned the right to become a citizen of Nova. Cross the portal to enter Nova. Jinti asks about the portal. Cheoldu says that they are talking about a portal. They are referring to that thing floating over there. Jinti seems raged and says that throwing me into a place crawling with goblins out of nowhere. He says that he is trying to get me killed. Cheoldu says that they have to earn coins themselves. Jinti seems raged and says that he suddenly throws someone like him who cannot fight into this. Jinti says that there is still one left. Cheoldu says that there is no faster growth than fighting themselves. Then he kills another monster who is ready to attack him. Jinti says that don't worry, he will not let him die. He says that he gets involved because of him, so he will take his responsibility and help him. He thanks him and says that at least they completed the quest, and it is a relief. 2 sergeants are finding their bags. One sergeant says that their duffel bags are over there. He replies that they will kill all of them. At the same time, Cheoldu finds the duffel bags. He says that there is a lot of useful stuff in the duffel bags. There are even combat rations, so they don't have to worry about going hungry. They will eat something and get moving. Suddenly, the sergeant put his gun on Cheolsu's heads. He thinks that the Cheoldu and Jinti are goblins. Jinti seems frightened and says that they are humans. Sergeants say sorry about that. They replied they are surprised to see people here too. He asks that they are only 2 and completely unarmed. Jinti says that they end up here without knowing what kind of place this is. He asks soldiers about the end time exams in which they are participating, then everything in the status window must be true. Soldier says that it is true and the government is preparing for the end times too. The planet Nova where human will migrate is practically in the Stone Age, so they need to work together to build villages. Forward-thinking companies and organizations are also jumping into Nova's development to prepare for the new era. A competition unknown to the general public has already begun behind the scenes. Cheoldu asks about the monsters in the Nova. The soldier replies that this place is a kind of testing ground, while Nova is a main stage to speak. That's why it is crucial to train here. Nova will be even more challenging. The soldier gives them the duffel bag. In duffel bag there are enough weapons and food. Jinti thanks the soldiers for giving them the duffel bag. Chioldu thinks that the Nova is going to be even tougher than this place. He will need to do some more hunting. He takes Jinti with him and goes toward the hunting. Jinti seems raged and says that they need to take a break. Chioldu says that they cannot sit before hunting. They need to level up faster. They see the monsters which are more stronger than the previous monsters. Their leader is doing magic. Jinti asks about that. He says that it looks different from the goblins they have seen so far. Chioldu replies that he comes here because he hears a weird sound in bingo. Jinti says that it looks dangerous as hell. Chioldu seems delighted and says that it is better for him. Suddenly, he picks the pan and running toward the monsters. He kills all the goblins and runs toward the leader. He says that he is coming for him. Suddenly, the goblin leader raises his magic stick and lightning produces from it. After seeing this, Chioldu seems amazed. He puts all the lightning on him with the help of stick. Jinti seems frightened. The leader seems amazed because the lighting does not affect him. Chioldu feels happy. Once again, the leader puts the lightning on him. He thinks that it feels like electricity is running down my spine, but he can take it. He is not just a barbarian, but he is also the son of a great shaman. The leader says that the pain does not kill him, it makes him stronger. Then he kills the leader and falls on the floor. He thanks to the magic resistance that he inherited from his mother. He finds goblin coins and something new with them. It is mana. It grants a small amount of mana can be activated with 10 goblin coins. He thinks that he gains mana like a shaman. The mana goes into his heart and he feels more stronger. He thinks that is this the power of orbs. Jinti is running toward the Chioldu and says that is he fine after hitting with the lightning. He says that is he really human. He says that is he really hurt. He replies that they need to hunt even more. He tells him to find the next hunting ground quickly. They need to take down those shaman bastards who drop orbs. Jinti seems mad and advises him to stop. In the morning he asks Chioldu about hunting. He replies that he gets more orbs for strength and perception. He cannot wait to test out this power. It feels like he has gotten insanely strong in just one day. 12 hours have passed in the Doomsday trial. Field bosses are appearing in the trial area. Bosses are formidable enemies that Nova player cannot face. Escaping as quickly as possible is recommended. Jinti tells him to escape. He says that he is so excited. There is a large ogre in the field. Sergeants attack him with their gun, but it does not work. The ogre attacks them, but Chioldu saves them and says that everyone stands back of him. He needs to fight with him. Sergeants seem amazed. He hits the ogre with full power, but it does not work. It feels like he is hitting the steel, not skin. Ogre punches him, and he falls on the ground. Jayden says that his iron head is being overpowered. Sergeant says that the field bosses are not easy prey. They need to be at least on par with a tank to stand a chance against it. Chioldu thinks that Ogre has such destructive power. It is definitely stronger than him. Ogre attacks on him, but fortunately he survives. He thinks that he needs to avoid him. His attacks are simple and easy to read. He will use his momentum against him and its own weight against it. Finally, he uses his momentum against him and Ogre falls on the ground. He repeatedly punches him on the face with full force. The sergeants do not believe him. He says loudly that he beats someone stronger than him. He gets a black orb this time. He wonders what ability he will get. He saves the sergeant's life. They thanked him. He says that he just fought because he wanted to. The sergeant says that they should buy something as many times as possible from the shop before going to Nova. The goblin says that they cannot take anything to Nova that they do not buy from the shop. Jinti seems amazed by seeing the talking goblin. Sergeants say that they need to go. Jinti says that they have got plenty of coins. They buy all war items. Chioldu says that they are going to buy everything they can. All conditions for heading to Nova have been met. The portal to Nova welcomes them. Jinti says that he is nervous. They are heading to the planet. He replies that he is so excited. They enter the Nova. Jayden says to Chiolsu that there are 2 moons. It is similar to Earth yet subtly different. Those light down there must be where people are gathered. They should head that way. Chioldu says that they have got a problem. He is starving. Jinti thinks that this is bad. He turns into a beast when he is hungry. It looks like it will take over a half day to walk to the tent village. Someone is coming and asks them if they need some help. Jinti asks her if she is a survivor. He thinks that she is so pretty. He asks her if there is anywhere nearby where they can find food. They arrived here with nothing. He replies that they don't look like they have nothing. He tells Chioldu to wait. She says that they need to help each other in this apocalyptic time. She knows a good place to get ingredients. She accidentally discovers the fishing stop. Jinti says that he is better at making things. She orders him to make the fishing rod. She will bring the bait. Jinti says that it is a relief to meet such a kind person. Chioldu seems raged and says that he is starving to death. Jinti tells him to wait. He successfully crafted crude fishing rods. They have awakened the crafting skill. Chioldu jumps into the river and says that he cannot wait anymore. He will catch them with his bare hands. He loses his mind when he is hungry. The girl comes with her gang. They are robbers. Jinti asks the girl about her friends. One of them says that this is Nova. If he goes around looking so clueless, they will get robbed by people like them. Jinti says that why she tricked them. She replies that it is a natural order the weak get eaten here, so hand them everything what they have. He advises the gang that if they mess with him, they will seriously regret. The man slaps him hardly. He asks the girl about the big guy. Maybe he runs away by seeing them, or maybe he is hiding in the water. The alligator bites the Chioldu. After seeing this, the leader of the gang says that is that guy being eaten by an alligator. He says loudly that the ability he got it is incredible. He can inherit one of the ogre's special abilities. He does not even get a scratch after being eaten by an alligator. Ogre skin is tougher than steel. He kills the 2 alligators. After seeing the gang, he asks about them. Jinti says that these bastards trick them completely. He says that he needs to eat that crocodile meat quickly. He screams that he even got slapped. The man says that it seems like he is a fighter. Another man says that they have more people on their side. He rushes toward Chioldu, but he punches him hard and he falls on the ground. Chioldu says that to get ready to solve the problems. Chioldu beats them all. They all belong to the Yongjius gang who have been exporting them as newbies. The man thinks that he is young. He asks about the leader. He replies that their boss's name is Jian Yonggu. He is the current strongest in the area. The girl says that they are mad. Their boss is incredibly powerful with the stat stones which he exhorted. He tears the alligator meat with his teeth. He seems raged and says that their boss seems to be quite problematic too. They all seem surprised and the girl says that he is just tearing the alligator meat with his teeth. It is disgusting just to look at. He orders the man to lead the way. They all go toward the young Gus gang headquarters. Chioldu punches them all and they fall on the ground. Chioldu is digesting the alligator meat. The man in the camp asks about the guy. Another man replies that they come with the newbies. They all say that Jongdu is a traitor bringing the enemy to their base. Chioldu screams the name of Yonggu. He says that let's fight like a gentleman. After hearing the noises, Yonggu comes out from his tent. Jinti seems amazed by seeing Yonggu. He looks even bigger than Chioldu. He asks who dares to mess with their boys. Chioldu says that it is him who is the head of all of them. He says that he bites his tongue in half. He punches Chioldu with full force and says that in this world he should not run his mouth carelessly. He stops his punch with his fist and says that in this world the one with the stronger fist is the adult. Yonggu laughs and says that it is interesting. He likes him. He says that if he wins he will join him. He will give him the second in command position. Chioldu agrees and says that if he wins he will take these guys with him. The man says that they are deciding on their own. Suddenly Chioldu punches him hardly, but it will not affect him. After seeing this, Jinti seems amazed. He says that the Chioldu fist is blocked. The man says that it is impossible. The big bro has consumed 12 stat stones. Most of them are strength stat stones. At that level it is almost like ogre skins. Yonggu thinks that his skin is definitely on par with an ogre. Chioldu punches him repeatedly but all in vain. He says that it is the first time since the ogre that he has met someone this tough. He is quite strong. He replies that Chioldu is a kid. Yanggu hits him. His power activates upon receiving an attack. Chioldu says that he should be thankful if he hits him. His real ogre skin activates. He grabs Yanggu from his neck and hits him on his face so hard that his tongue might really get cut off. He falls on the ground. The man from the gang says that it is a fair fight. The other man says that if he insists on coming, he will be his opponent. The man says that he swears loyalty to the Yanggu gang. He says that he is betraying them. He replies that he is just loyal to the stronger one. This is better if he is going to be treated as a traitor. Suddenly, Chioldu jumps into the air and punches him so badly. People seem amazed by seeing this. He says that finally he meets an interesting guy. Chioldu says how pathetic the boss is begging for his life. They pack all the goods that Yanggu has. Chioldu tells them to go. Yanggu asks him one thing. He asks him which organization he is from. Chioldu says that he is a high school senior. The man thanks Chioldu for taking them in. He thinks that the way of the barbarian is to grow stronger through battle. He finally has his first subordinates. But he is still weak. He thinks that in the moment of hesitation he faltered. If father had seen this, he would surely have been disappointed. He should take his head. Jinti seems amazed by seeing him. Chioldu makes him vice captain. He asks if he provided the instructions effectively. He replies that he tells them to set up the tents. Chioldu says that they don't have time to waste. He decided their next destination. Jinti says that there is something over there. Chioldu says that if they go beyond that they can become stronger. That's their goal over there. This is a pyramid sanctuary. In the next morning, Chioldu orders them to set up the tents. They are about to cross the river and the rest of them stay here and guard the tents. The man thinks that the boss is planning to conquer uncharted territory that no one has attempted. He asks when he will come back. Chioldu replies that they don't have plans when they return to Earth. The man says that the earliest portal opens in 4 days. The portal in Nova opens once every 5 days, and it's been a day since the portal last opened. 1 day on Earth is equal to 5 days on Nova. Jinti says that then the portal opens on a schedule. It is absurd to stay on this barbaric planet. Chioldu says that then they will be back in 3 days. He thinks that the next time he should bring his grandfather. He cannot leave him alone on the dying Earth. He asks his name. The man replies Jiangdu. He give him a new name. He is number 1. From now on he will call them 5 siblings number 1 to number 5. The girl says that is he joking about them. They have their own names. Chioldu seems raged and asks, is that any problem? They all agree with him. Jinti says that this raft does not look pretty. They have successfully crafted a raft. Jinti thinks that his crafting experience is slowly increasing. Just rowing like this is frustrating. He binds the one end of rope with his belly and second end with the raft and jumps into the river. Jinti says that he will lose his balance. He says that this is too slow, let him try. Jinti seems raged and says that he worked hard to make this and he cannot even be patient. He swims very fast. Jinti thinks that Chioldu really adapts quickly compared to him. He is the vice captain. He should do something instead of avoiding it. He crosses the river and there is a tall building in front of them. This is Pyramid Sanctuary. Contribute to sanctuary activation for special benefits. Jinti says that is this the first time they have seen this. Chioldu says that it looks good at a glance. Let's go and get some coins. Jinti seems raged and says that this time let's get coins separately. He asks about it. Jinti replies that the Earth is facing an apocalyptic crisis. He feels like he has not done anything on his own. So this time he wants to try alone without his help. In the evening, Chioldu is hunting the ostrich dinosaur. He says that it is fun to hunt a monster. The monster attacks him. He seems raged and kicks the ostrich and says that he will turn him into chicken. After killing the monster, he gathered enough coins and orbs. There are special orbs. Skill Stone Throw. Infused with mana to throw with greater power and speed. He seems happy and says that he is learning skills and becoming stronger. He wonders how Jinti is doing. Jinti is facing an ostrich dinosaur. The monster is running toward Jinate for attack, but Jinti binds the rope with the neck of the monster. Then he hits his head with the knife and kills him. He says that fighting with the unfamiliar monster is exhausting. He bets that the Chioldu has already hunted dozens. It is a good thing that he makes a weapon from the alligator's teeth. He thinks that he can hunt in his own way too by using crafting methods properly. Suddenly, a big monster comes and stands behind his back. The monster attacks on him, but he survives. He murmurs that this monster is even bigger than Chiolsu. This is the end for him. Suddenly, Chioldu throws a stone which hits his head and he falls on the ground. Jinti seems amazed. He infuses with the mana to throw with greater speed and power. Then they eat monster meat for dinner. Chioldu says that he is worried about him, so it is good to check. He seems depressed and says that he can handle the ostrich dinosaur, but it is very hard to handle orc. He guesses he is hopeless. Living as a silver spoon on Earth, he has never done anything on his own, and same on the Nova. He advises Jinti that there is no shame in being weak. If he does not stop training, he can become a great warrior too. He seems to have matured a lot since coming to Nova. Chioldu says that he knows he is a barbarian. He is different from others. Jinti seems amazed and asks about Barbarian. Chioldu tells him that he is a barbarian from another planet. He seems frightened and asks about the warriors. There are too many things that do not make sense for a human. He asks Jinti if he does not know that he is a barbarian. He replies that how can he know? Jinti says that he is more surprised that he is confused about that. He laughs and says that there is no need to compare himself with him. After all, they are different. They activate the Pyramid Sanctuary. The Pyramid Sanctuary has been activated. They will receive a first activation award. Jinti gains inventory +2 and Chioldu gains inventory +5. Jinti seems happy and says that this is awesome. It must be like a subspace. Chioldu seems amazed and says that the reward seems to differ based on the number of coins collected. They have received the sanctuary's blessing. Recovery rate doubled for 24 hours. Jinti seems more happy and says that as a recovery buff, he already feels less tired. If there are benefits like this, maybe he can become stronger too. He will stop relying on Chioldu. It is time for him to get stronger too. The monster comes back with his friends to attack them. Jinti seems frightened and screams for help. Chioldu says that they have received benefits, now it is time to fight together. He advises him not to become a coward. He got a barbarian by his side. He takes on the orc they saw earlier, and he will handle the rest. He is going first. Jinti seems frightened and says that he thinks they are fighting together. Chioldu is running toward the monsters. The monster attacks on him with his spear, but Chioldu stops and grabs it and says that it is unmanly to use a weapon against an unarmed opponent. Chioldu hits him with his spear, and he falls on the ground. Suddenly another monster is ready to attack him behind his back, but Jinti pushes him and says that he is his opponent. Chioldu seems amazed by seeing this. The monster seems raged and hits him, and Jinti falls on the ground. He thinks that he is going to die. He is bleeding. Suddenly Sanctuary's blessing took effect and his recovery rate doubled. The blessing helps him to recover quickly. He is ready for the fight. He thinks that he cannot give up just because he is scared. He has to be a friend worthy of a barbarian. The monster hits him again. He thinks that he relied too much on the blessing. He will start with a downward strike. Then he will move inside. The monster attacks on him, but he moves inside and then cuts his throat with the knife. The monster falls on the ground. He feels happy by killing the monster. Chioldu appreciates him. He says that he has grown quite a bit. Jinti laughs and says that he is starting to understand fighting a bit now. He says that he is really amazing too, to handle spear-wielding orcs like that. The understanding of spear techniques has been defended. He awakens the spear mastery skill. He fights by using their steel spears, so he awakens spear mastery. Jinate thinks that it is the same concept as when he awakens the crafting. He asks Jinti if he has fully recovered. He replies he doesn't tell him he is looking for another fight. Chioldu tells him to look over there. If they follow those footprints, they should find where the orcs live. There might be weapons other than spears. The sergeants reach the orc lumberjack village first. After seeing the village, one of them says that it looks pretty fierce. The sergeant says that it is because of those orcs that their army has not conquered this continent yet. Since they are the first to discover their base, they should at least get some leave as a reward. He says that let's hurry back and report this. Chioldu finds them and taps on his shoulder from behind. He seems frightened by seeing Chiolsu. He asks why he looks like that. They almost don't recognize them. They say that they are scouting the enemy territory. As he can see, if they are caught by those guys, it will be hard to return in one piece. He tells Chiolsu to head back quickly because this place is dangerous, especially their leader. The orc chief looks so dangerous and has an axe in his hand. The sergeant says that they need at least a company-sized force just to deal with that monster. Chioldu seems happy and says that he is looking like a nice weapon. He is taking that axe. Chioldu and Jinti are turning toward the orcs' army to kill them. They kill all of them. Chioldu tells Jinti to take a break. He wants to fight with the chief lonely. The chief seems raged and attacks with his axe. Chioldu pushes back and hits him. Chief body is covered with armor. Chioldu thinks that if that axe hits him properly, even the ogre skin cannot hold him. He takes his axe from his hand and thanks him for the free giveaway. He hits his head with the axe with full force. His understanding of axe technique has deepened. He awakens the axe mastery skill. Sergeants seem astonished by seeing this. Jinti seems happy. Sergeant says that he is closer to a monster. Chioldu is standing by putting an axe on his shoulder and seems happy. He thinks that a monster like that should not be left there.